I will talk today about the middle way and how Chinese philosophy rewired my mind. For most of my life, I understood the world through a lens of clarity and conflict. Good versus evil, right versus wrong, win versus lose. My education, the stories I consumed, even the political discourse around me, was built on a foundation of exclusive categories. You had to pick a side. Ideology was a fortress to be defended. It was exhausting, and more importantly, it felt incomplete. It did not match the nuanced reality of being human, the moments of joy and sadness, the growth and failure, the complex interdependence of everything. Then, my first degree was in Chinese philosophy, not only as a teenage academic, but also as a seeker. And it did not just add new ideas, but it fundamentally transformed my operating system. The first seismic shift came from understanding yin and yang. In the West, we often see opposites as locked in battle, light defeats darkness. But in Chinese thought, they are complementary, co-arising forces. There is no light without the concept of dark. Creativity, yang, needs rest, yin, to sustain itself. Within success is the seed of arrogance. Within failure, the seed of resilience. Western metaphysics often seeks the essential, unchanging thing. Chinese cosmology is more interested in the process and the relationship. The question is not, what is its true nature, but how does it flow and interact within the dynamic web of existence? This leads to Zhongyong, the doctrine of the mean. This is not a mediocre compromise, but it is the dynamic, vigilant practice of finding the harmonious pivoted point in every situation. It is the wisdom that the correct action is never found in the rigid extreme of any ideology, but in the contextual, fluid center that balances all forces. It is pragmatic virtuosity. My second lesson was in Wuwei, often translated as non-action. This was a cure for my prolific toxic productivity. We in the West champion the heroic will, forcing outcomes, conquering nature, battling through. In contrast, Wuwei is the art of acting in alignment. It is like sailing. You do not fight the wind, but you adjust your sails to use it. In Daoism, it is about aligning with the Tao, the fundamental, ineffable flow of the universe. In Confucianism, it is about acting with such mastered virtue and ritual propriety, Li, that your actions become spontaneous, authentic, and maximally effective without brute force. It transformed my work from a grinding push into a search for the current I could join. The third blow to my individualistic mindset was the concept of Ren. We often define the self as a discrete, bounded ego. Chinese thought, particularly Confucianism, sees the self as a node in a network of relationships. You are your roles as child, friend, citizen. Cultivating Ren, humaneness, benevolent care, is not charity, but it is the act of strengthening the very fabric that constitutes you. This is a philosophy of interbeing. A tree is not just a tree. It is the soil, the rain, the sunlight, and the ecosystem it supports. To harm one part is to harm the whole. This reframes every ethical and environmental choice from one of external obligation to one of self-care on a cosmic scale. So what does this look like in daily life? In intellectual and scientific debates, I stopped trying to win arguments. I now ask, what is the underlying harmony we are both missing? What is the righteousness of this specific context, not my abstract rule? In goals, I pursue mastery, not just achievement. I look for the current, the Tao, of my industry or craft and align with it, rather than exhausting myself swimming upstream. When it comes to identity, I am not attached to a fixed, ideological me. I am a fluid set of relationships and roles, constantly cultivated. This brings immense psychological freedom. Chinese philosophy did not give me a new set of answers, but it gave me a new way to sit with questions. It replaced the mindset of conquest and conversion with one of cultivation and connection. The world is no longer a chessboard of opposing pieces, but a garden of interdependent life. So, my task is not to defend a fortress of ideas, but to tend to the relationships in my corner of the garden, with others, with my work, and with nature itself, seeking harmony, not hegemony. However, this is not about East versus West, but it is about expanding our toolkit for being human. In a world screaming for division, these ancient ideas offer a profound, quiet, and immensely powerful alternative: the wisdom of the middle way.